Suffolk with Luke Deal.
Now, a Suffolk actress who's been starring in a West End musical is getting ready to head to Broadway. Kerry Ellis from Stowmarket has spent the last 14 months playing the green-skinned witch Elphaba in the London version of Wicked, and next month she'll be playing the outcast in New York. And I'm pleased to say that Kerry joins me now. Afternoon to you.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. How are you? You must be really excited, aren't you?
I am. I'm absolutely beside myself. The last kind of few months has just been amazing, and it's a bit of a whirlwind, really. So I'm just trying to get my head around it all.
So will this be your first time on Broadway?
It is, yeah, absolutely. And I'm thrilled and excited and can't wait, really. It's the next step, really, for my career, I think. And, yeah, really looking forward to it. When
did they approach you to make the transfer from the West End to Broadway, then?
Well, it's been quite a while, really. I got asked kind of about a year ago. It was kind of in talks, and then, you know, these things take time, and it got announced February this year publicly and went, you know, out in the press. And so technically it's been out, you know, since February. So I could get excited then because it was all official. It was kind of a bit of a dream, really, before. It was kind of a bit of just dangling the carrot, but now it's all official and it's out, and I'm going in 3 weeks. And I'm very excited.
I bet you are. How does the West End compare to Broadway? Is there more hype on the other side of
I'll let you know. I don't know. You know, it's funny. I think it's a bit of a commodity, really. You know, a lot of the people that work in New York all want to come and work in the West End, and vice versa. So, you know, it'll be interesting to actually do it and find it out for myself, really. I'm just kind of interested to see how different it actually will be.
Are you apprehensive?
Absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't be? You know, I'm going to change my home for 5 months, and I don't know New York very well, so I hope they'll look after me and be kind to me and, you know, warm me well. So, you know, we'll see. I'll just have to discover it as I get there.
Wicked has been a huge hit with the public and critics alike. For those who don't know the story, what is it about?
Well, it's the untold story of the witches of Oz. It's basically their journey, the Wicked Witch of the West, which is who I play, Elphaba, who's the Green Witch, and the Good Witch, Glinda, who's played by Diane Pilkington, who is brilliant. And it's kind of their story and how it's basically their story while the Wizard of Oz is going on. So it kind of weaves in and out of the Wizard of Oz. There's references to that. But also, it doesn't matter if you haven't seen the Wizard of Oz. It's a great story in itself. And it's just about relationships and how people are perceived to be different and how they actually really are. And it touches on all sorts of things like, you know, outcasts and racism, or whether, you know, there's a lot of it's an underlining story that comes out too, and yeah, it's quite complicated.
Really. Why do you think it has been so popular with
for that
people
reason,
that have seen
actually, for that reason, I think because the story is so great and there is so much to gain from it. I mean, other than a brilliant script, great music, the costumes are great. It's a spectacle to see. I think that because the story stands up in itself, I think it's why people go back time and time again. Because they still, you know, there's new things to learn each time they go and see it. It's also we've got a big cult following. It's got a massive fan base, something I've not really experienced on other shows. And you know, there's people that come back religiously every Saturday and every week. It's incredible, the support and the fan base that we have.
What's it like working with Nigel Planer?
Well, this is a return for me, really, because I worked with Nigel in We Will Rock You a few years ago as Pop in We Will Rock You, and I was playing Meatloaf. How ironic that sounds.
Someone's got it, haven't they?
So we've worked together before, but it's lovely to work with him again, and you know, another 2 years together. It's been great.
Do you think they come back and see it time and time again because it bears resemblance to the Wizard of Oz?
Yes and no. I think yes, people that love the Wizard of Oz will love Wicked. There's no doubt about it. But people that haven't seen the Wizard of Oz love it too. Just because of the strength of the show in itself. It really does stand up alone, really.
You've been involved with the production since the very beginning. What's it like being in a long-running production such as this?
Oh, it's great. It's such an honour to be a part of such a successful show. I mean, I've been lucky. My whole career really has been, strong shows, and this again is another one. But it's been nice to be so involved in it, and to just watch it take off. And I'm sure it will run for many years.
Do you ever get bored, or do you treat every night like an opening night?
Well, you've been watching Nancy, haven't you?
Yeah, most of them have been on this programme on Mondays.
That's their line, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Paying audience and not. Well, it's true, and it is true. Every audience it might be their first time, so you've got to treat it as your first time. And it's what we do. We do 8 shows a week, but we, every time has to be special, and especially with this role because it's such. It's so massive, and it's such a journey for me every night that there's no time to get bored because it's all about pace and highlights and trying to mix it up a bit and keep it fresh, and the cast are brilliant, so I never get bored. Oliver Tomsett, who plays Fiero, is a joy. We've just had Harriet Thorpe come in, who's brilliant, and Diane, obviously, she's lovely, and a great talent. We're so lucky to have a good group of people to work with, and we all kind of keep each other afloat, if you like.
Yeah. Sounds like you've got a great cast here in the West End, but what about on Broadway? Have you had a chance to meet any of them yet?
No. We'll see. It's going to be so strange. I mean, I don't know any of them. I know some of the management and the production side, obviously, because they came over here. But with regards to the cast, I don't know any of them, so we shall see. I'll be the new girl.
Of course you will, the new kid on the block.
Yeah, so, but I'm looking forward to it. I've been doing Wicked here for, just over a year and a half, and, it'd be nice to change it up a bit for me to go over there and then perhaps bring back some of my experiences back to London when I come back in December.
What experience are you hoping to get out there?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I don't know New York so well, so I can imagine that the lifestyle is going to be very different. I can imagine that the theatre industry will be perhaps a little bit different. And the audiences, I'm sure, are going to be just have a different response. But I'm really diving into the unknown, and I really don't know. So it's kind of exciting, and I'm sure I shall know more when I'm back, when I've gone and done it. I'm not thinking about it too much, really. I'm just going to go and take the plunge, I think.
Can you tell from an audience whether you're going to have a good night or a bad night?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I start the show in my dressing room, ironically enough, so I do hear, the minute the overture starts, I do hear the audience response, and generally it's fantastic, and we always get a big cheer at the start of the show, and the audiences here have been wonderful, so, we always get a standing ovation. They're always very involved in the show, and always packed at the stage door afterwards to say how great it was, so it's, it's an honour to be a part of it.
But how do you keep the momentum going? Because 8 shows a week...
It's tough.
It is tough, isn't it?
It is tough. It is tough, but like I say, when you're part of such a great show like this, it's not that difficult, because it's it's like running into a playground every night. We've got big sets, and we've got flying monkeys, and I run around and I fly, and Diane flies in the bubble, and it's like a playground, so you don't really ever get bored of it. And like you say, the audiences are always different, and you have to work to that, so it's always different.
What was that first time like flying for you?
Well, it's quite high.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. But it's actually quite nice because it's the first time that I actually kind of come out over the audience, and I can actually then see people, whereas most of the show is so dark I can't actually see the audience. So it's actually like I can actually have a little bit of a peek. Oh, who's in then?
Good job you're not scared of heights, isn't it?
No, I'm not. So it's quite fun, actually.
And how do you feel about getting the Best Takeover in a Role at the 2008 Theatre Goers Choice Awards?
It's the biggest honour. I was so flattered, and it's such a nice recognition. I mean, it's also because it's from the public. It's not from a board. It's not from industry people. It's actually from the public. So it's at the end of the day are our biggest critics and our biggest audience. So I was absolutely honoured and completely humbled by it. It was brilliant and flattered.
It's not
Thanks
bad
very
going.
much,
It's not bad
everyone.
going, is it, for someone who's only been involved with the West End for just over 7 years?
Oh, bless you. Thanks very much.
Luke Deal. BBC Radio